Hello everybody, hope you're having a good day. Here's Val with another video to keep your boredom at bay. Yeah, so the old school people, you guys will remember that intro that was like from way back in the day. But anyway, I am here with Gil from GoT Academy. Yeah.
Hey Val, how are you?
Good, how are you?
Very well, doing very well.
So in this video, we're doing a collaboration, obviously, and we're going to be talking about the fate of the relationship between Tyrion and Daenerys. Yes, because that's been kind of iffy, right? Like, some people think that Tyrion might betray Daenerys, some people think he can't. Is he in love with her, is he not? Like, we'll discuss all of these things in this video.
Yes.
And in Gil's channel, GoT Academy, he talks a lot about pop culture. He has a lot of in-depth conversations about that.
Yes, I'm collaborating with all kinds of cool people. Like I'm doing psychoanalyzing a Game of Thrones character, talking about science and Dune and movies and books and all kinds of stuff. Come over.
Yeah, go check it out.
So Val, what do you think will happen with Tyrion and Daenerys?
I was the type of person to think that he was not going to betray her. But he did talk with Cersei about something. We can't deny that, right?
He also had that long look at the end of the season when they were having sex behind the door.
Right. So you know what? I want to say something about that because the production team has been kind of confusing with that. Because I remember clearly right after season 7 ended that the director of that episode, who was, what was his name? I forget. Google it. The director of that episode said that Tyrion was just worried about what Jon and Dany sleeping together might mean or how their relationship might change things in the future. And that's what the director said, that was going through Tyrion's head. Now, Tyrion, the actor Peter Dinklage, just did an interview where he was asked about that and he said something different. To him, he has feelings for Daenerys in that scene. That's what he's showing. So,
really?
Was the director trying to throw us off? Or is Peter Dinklage not really understanding his character?
So, basically the way that I look at it, I look at the character's arc as a whole. So he started out on the outside looking in. Then he gained some power. He loved the taste of power. He lost it. Now he's got it. Now he has it back, and he doesn't want to lose it. He wants to be like whatever, the second in command of the greatest queen that ever lived. So if that's his arc, it can't end just like on a straight high note that he's getting his power back and then he lives happily ever after. No, that's not the kind of story that we're talking about. So something has to happen with their relationship. Something has to change, right? We've seen the seeds of discord, and he disagrees with some of the things that she's doing, and frankly, his advice has not always been stellar. Something has to happen between them during the season, just like it makes narrative sense that they will have to break up. That's like, I'm guessing, like my premise, that the way that I look at the story as a whole and at Tyrion's character and their relationship.
Yeah, I think something has been definitely building up, like something's been brewing there. In season 7, we saw a lot of hints of like conflict between Tyrion and Daenerys. And one big theme in that conflict was the fact that which side is Tyrion playing.
The right plan. Your strategy has lost us Dawn, the Iron Islands, and the Reach.
If I have underestimated our enemies...
Our enemies? Your family, you mean? Perhaps you don't want to hurt them after all.
Right? Like, is he still loyal to his family? Is he actually loyal to Daenerys? And actually, throughout the entire story, the whole show, even from season 1, in the very first, not the very first Tyrion scene, because that was with the whore, with Ross, but the scene where he's eating bacon with his family right after they got caught having sex, right after, like, they pushed Bran out the window, Jaime asks,
"My dear brother, there are times you make me wonder whose side you're on."
My dear brother, you wound me. You know how much I love my family.
You know, it's like the very first thing that was brought up about Tyrion's character, and then he, in that scene, he kind of just talks about being on the Lannister, like he's always been a Lannister.
And also there was a conversation with Jorah two seasons ago. Okay, you support her. Why? Why do you think she'll be a good queen? Like, and also when they meet the first time, he's like testing her and seeing whatever to see if she's good enough. So it's not whatever. It's not a vow, whatever, like a blood vow, whatever, or like in Harry Potter, Grindelwald, whatever, blood pact or something. If he no longer thinks that she will do a good job, then he will go to look for someone else.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that someone else is Sansa. I think he's gonna switch over to Sansa.
I like that. I know, actually, yeah, I didn't expect that twist, but yeah, it does make sense in the narrative because they've been building up Sansa up as a good queen. Like that was her whole season 7 plot. Yeah, and they have that history of, you know, they were married once and
in the books they're still married, like it wasn't annulled. It's just in the show they had it to make her marry Ramsay. They just ignored it or something. But no, they're still married.
Exactly.
And I think that he will think that she will be a better candidate to solve the problems of the realm.
If you die, we're all lost. Everyone, everything.
You don't need a dragon, you don't need someone magical with magical powers, you just need someone with a sound mind and some patience and good ears and being diplomatic. And I think that some of the things that he will see, because they're going to Winterfell, right? All of them. Then he will, and also it will make it more interesting.
Yeah, I definitely think so. Something needs to change, like you're saying. There's something that's got to happen. Like it can't just keep going all nice and dandy.
Yeah, he's just like for her the entire time. So why did they show us like him failing and them arguing? And why did they show us? Okay, so the director said that he's looking and he's worried what the relationship will mean. So that also has political implications. If he thinks that Jon is taking her in a wrong direction, or maybe even just like from selfish reasons, he wants someone to listen to him, and now she's no longer listening to him because she has Jon. Maybe he says, okay.
Yeah, and I can definitely see Tyrion thinking and planning ahead if Jon is going to, because obviously Tyrion does not know that Jon is the rightful heir, right? So we got to remember that he has that mindset. He's just a king in the north. And so if Daenerys falls in love with Jon, Tyrion might be thinking that Daenerys doesn't want to rule anymore, and he's got to figure out, okay, so who's going to rule, right? So there might be another aspect, another angle there.
Right. That's a very good point. I also think that Sansa needs to do something horrible to Jon, like also betray Jon. So that works together with Tyrion changing camps. I think something interesting also that's clearly been brewing between them, that she's disagreeing with him in public and very vehemently. So that also has to play out. That's whatever the proverbial gun on the table in the first act, it has to fire in the third act. They don't put out all kinds of stuff for nothing. It has to be resolved or to create a problem and change things, just like from storytelling.
You say that Tyrion has fallen in love with power, and if he starts to lose it, he doesn't want to lose it again. Do you think that he'd be happy though with just being a hand, or do you think he might want more than that?
I think that by the end he will be very happy if he were a hand, because I think he's gonna lose everything. I think he's gonna lose badly, just being exiled, and he will betray Daenerys, and because he's so toxic politically everybody hates him. He's like they're making plays about him being the worst person in the world and a monster. It makes sense also from the plot point of view. If you do something, if you betray someone, there is a consequence to it. So if we're saying that he's going to betray Daenerys, that means that he's going to pay in some way. He's going to not get everything that he wants. He's going to lose something. Something bad has to happen to everyone in the next 6 episodes. There won't be any smooth sailing at all. Yeah, we have to accept the fact that characters we love are going to suffer.
another interview with Peter Dinklage, which you might want to discard because, of course, like, what, you know, we shouldn't be paying attention to what actors say because they could be lying. But he does talk about a potential end for Tyrion, where he says something like, you know, his end will be beautiful, even if it's...
I don't think he's gonna die.
That's the thing. I don't think he would die. I keep thinking that the best thing for him would be to be sent to the wall, because he's had that connection with the wall before. And again, it's possible that the wall does not exist by the end of the show because they might not need it anymore. But I mean, most of the wall is still standing. I don't think it can get, like, they're not gonna destroy what's left. But anyway, we don't want to get into too off topic here. But
the entire caravan of the of the people from the north, they crossed the wall and there was nobody there to greet them. So come on.
So
I'm thinking, okay, so if we're going for it to say how we'll end up afterwards, I think he's going to lose his tongue. I think it was foreshadowed this season that his best quality is talking, not ruling or advising, talking. And we know that there's a character that already lost his tongue for talking too much. And I see him being in exile in I don't know if in Pentos or some other city. He mentioned it in one of the episodes this past year. The scene with the bad joke about the fly and the wine, whatever horrible scene. At the beginning he says,
after our queen has taken the 7 kingdoms, I'd like to have my own vineyard, make my own wine. The imp's delight. Only my close friends could drink it.
So I see him being alone with his books, tongueless, in some whatever nice house in Pentos, drinking wine. I think that's beautiful. I think that could be beautiful.
I see. Okay, yeah, I get your point. Yeah.
And writing a book.
Okay, yeah, I get your point.
And writing a book about the politics of the era.
I wouldn't mind. Yeah, I wouldn't mind that ending for Tyrion. I think I don't know. I'm going to disagree just to make the video more interesting. Actually, no, I'm actually disagreeing. I don't think he will get his tongue cut off. I have heard of that theory. I think it makes sense in the books. I just think, like, if he were to get his tongue cut off, it would be meant for more character development. And then since this is the ending, it might just not be worth cutting his tongue in the end. And I also think that Tyrion would just, like, kill himself. I think he wouldn't want to live without being able to speak. I don't know, but, okay, one more thing. I still want to talk about the Cersei thing, because he did have a conversation with Cersei. What did they talk about, right? I mean, it's gotta have... it was clearly about the baby. That was the last thing that was mentioned before they cut the scene. And so it's gotta be, like... Obviously, they've already given us the foreshadowing of Tyrion thinking about who's going to rule after Daenerys, and Daenerys not being able to have babies. And now Tyrion has this baby that's going to be a Lannister. Obviously, he's not going to let that baby die, and he had to give Cersei something for her to agree to help, which I think she betrayed Tyrion because Tyrion probably thought that Cersei was going to help.
Maybe he told her that Daenerys can't bear children, and for that piece of information she promised him, because that could be something that she could use against her, saying, you want to have her as queen, in 30 years we'll have another civil war because there won't be an heir, just like go for me and have a baby.
Yeah, so I think it's going to come out at some point that Tyrion was trying to help Cersei's kid, and that's what Daenerys is not going to be happy with.
Right. I'm getting excited. About
I know, it's just like, I don't want anything bad to happen to Tyrion, but it's just, something's gonna happen to him. He's had an easy time so far. I mean, he's gone through a lot, but the last season has been pretty easy for him.
Right. No, but we want something, like the things that we remember from the story. That's whatever, Ned getting his head chopped off and the Red Wedding and all the bad shit. So I'm waiting to see how every character doesn't get what they want. I'm really looking forward to seeing him suffer.
Yeah. And yeah, so that's all of the information that we're going to give you guys. Now it's your turn to let us know in the comments what you think. And yeah, go check out GoT Academy. He makes awesome videos, and all of the links will be in the description, obviously, as always, so you can check it out there. And leave a like if you liked it, subscribe for more, and I will see you in the next one. Bye!
Bye.